We've got a brand new update to check out, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. So without further ado, let's do it. Ka-chow. That's it. This is this new fancy screen. That's about all the actual newness we got in the new update that just recently dropped. But I do have good news. Do not worry. This was actually expected, and boom, this is something that the developers shared not too long ago. As promised, we are sharing our immediate plans with you. In April, we're gonna release an important technical update. Its internal testing is being completed as we speak. It's necessary for the game's stable performance. That is exactly the update that we have just gotten. May, however, is an important month for LDoE, aka it's actually gonna be LDoE's 7th anniversary. And that's why we're cooking up something special, a major event. We hasten to say that we won't be introducing a helicopter or tungsten, so confirmed helicopter and or tungsten are not coming in the May update that we can expect, but we are working really hard and doing our best to make sure you'll love the May event. And in just a second, we'll actually share everything that we know about the May event so far, because there have been some teasers already. At the same time, we'll be developing the project's roadmap so that we can share it with you. You'll be fully informed of our plans. That's partially why we've been collecting your feedback so actively and taking so much interest in your thoughts and opinions. We hope that these measures will allow us to form a more transparent and solid relationship, as well as make LDoE even better together. Thank you for your active participation, support, and understanding throughout this whole time. And then remember when I said that we had something about that May update? Kabow! This is that. The Boar and Trap sounds like a great name for a tavern, but remember, both of our guests that you are going to meet in May, confirmed, are extremely dangerous and unforgiving when you make mistakes. Stay alert. So we have confirmation that the May update, which does seem just from the timing like it's going to encompass a last day on Earth anniversary event of some sort, is also going to include a new enemy in the form of the boar, and also a new trap slash weapon in the form of the bear trap. And then also regarding that news about the roadmap coming as well, that is also such positive news, because dude, the last time that we had an actual roadmap for Last Day on Earth was literally like 5 or 6 years ago from what I recall. You know what else was 5 or 6 years ago? A much more promising time for Last Day on Earth when updates were more frequent, and just in general, whenever the developers are able to more transparently and more often talk with the community about what is coming and what to expect. I feel like that is a huge net positive. So hopefully a sign of this roadmap that they are cooking up is also a sign that Last Day on Earth is hopefully, I'm really crossing my freaking fingers here, ramping up and preparing to start going back to greatness, because I know that we all want to see Last Day on Earth be what it truly can be. And there's a lot of loose ends that we got to see, like the helicopter, Bunker Charlie, more floors in Bunker Alpha, freaking the oil rig up in the north, the suburbs in the northwest, so many avenues, and we gotta see what those even look like. But I digress. Let's go back to focusing over here on our new enemies that we can expect. So we have confirmation that they're extremely dangerous and unforgiving. So okay, let's talk about a boar. In real life, dude, boars actually pretty freaking dangerous, man. They're essentially like, I mean, it kind of just looks similar to a pig, except with freaking tusks and being significantly more terrifying. And that's exactly what a boar pretty much is, given my my scientific degree on the knowledge. I don't actually know that much about boars, but I do know that they can be very dangerous, and it seems like they will be the same in LDoE. So what does that mean? Let's think about it. Realistically speaking, it's probably gonna be tougher than a wolf, but it's not gonna be as tough as, let's say, a bear. So I feel like this new boar that is gonna be introduced is going to fall kind of somewhere in between there. I could see it having anywhere from like 100 to 200 health. Actually, if we think about infected bulls as well, which have 200 health over at the farm, the boar will probably be a little bit weaker than that. So personally, I think this thing is going to have anywhere from 100 to 150 health. It's going to be an aggressive wild animal, and also it is going to, I think, do some decent damage, especially with the tusks that it is armed with on the front of its little schnoz over there. And then given the fact that it is, I mean, a boar, I gotta imagine being a four-legged animal like that, it's also going to be pretty fast, just like wolves and deer and all the other freaking four-legged animals in the game. I guess except for bulls, but those things are just big and bulky, man. Boars can definitely be terrifying and fast. So I feel like in terms of of like what it's gonna be able to do is gonna kind of fall in like, I think it's gonna be more powerful than an infected wolf in terms of the damage that it does and the health that it does have, and it might roam in packs as well. And that also does leave the question of what the heck is the purpose that this is serving? And this is where I'm excited, because if they're introducing an entirely new type of enemy and model, I'm hopeful that this actually means there's gonna be some sort of a permanent concept to the boar. Now, whether that means the May update also includes a permanent type of location that the boar will be at, or that we can get from, maybe some sort of like new hunters faction that gets introduced in this May update that we can go and talk to when they want us to go out and hunt these boars, or maybe they'll be added to existing locations and stick around after the update, because the fact that they're making an entirely new model makes me think that, I mean, they're investing the time and energy into this is gonna likely stick around, because it's not just like a reskinned version of a zombie that they tend to do for like these limited time events. It does seem like it's an entirely new model from scratch, given the fact that it's a freaking boar and there's not really much similar to that currently in the game. So that does lead me to believe that it's gonna be something that's gonna be sticking around, that we are going to continue to encounter, whether it be in resource locations or other locations, or perhaps even in some sort of a new location that gets introduced in this May update and sticks around after the fact. But all right, enough about the boar and what that might encompass. I'd love to hear from you all in that comment section down below, all about what y'all think about the boar and what that might mean for this May update. We also have the bear trap to talk about, and for this, I want y'all to follow me. Specifically, follow me over here to our inventory, where we can go into the weapons tab and where we can see the bear trap. Now, here is the thing. I do not believe that the bear trap is going to be similar to like, whatchamacall, like a trap that we place at base to protect from zombies and raiders and stuff like that, because if it was, it'd be in this category where the barbed wire and the spike traps and everything are. Instead, the bear trap is in the same category as the weapons, where everything is either a melee weapon, a ranged weapon, or a placeable trap, similar to the landmine. Now, if we know how the landmine works, you put it down, someone steps over it, boom, they explode. The bear trap appears to be in the same category. Now, we can see that there is tungsten required to craft it. However, we are not getting tungsten in this update, confirmed from that information that I did just share. So what does that mean? One of two things. One, the recipe is going to change for the bear trap and we're going to be able to build it from some other sort of material. Or two, we are going to be able to get the bear trap from some sort of a new method, whether it be added to existing loot tables, at the bunkers, at the laboratory, at airdrops, whatever it might be, or if this May update brings with it some sort of a permanent content. Like I'm saying, man, there seems to be an awfully like hunters theme going around with everything that we know about this update so far. Maybe some sort of a new location with like a hunters faction, and maybe they send us out hunting for boars, and in exchange, you know, we bring back some sort of loot, some special loot that the boar drops, and they trade us some bear traps or something like that that we can then go and use, because again, it falls in this category where the landmines do. Now, how do you place a landmine? You put it on the ground, you wait for someone to step over it, boom. Now that's the thing as well, because if y'all recall, it said that both of the things in that picture, the boar and the bear trap, are dangerous and unforgiving when you make mistakes. You know what is also unforgiving and dangerous when you make a mistake? A landmine. If you step on your own landmine, you've made a grave mistake and you have just blown both of your legs to freaking Timbuktu. Okay, so the bear trap very well could fall under that same category. At first, I thought maybe there's gonna be some sort of new location where you have to worry about stepping on other people's bear traps, which might very well still be the case. Maybe, you know, whatever new location slash event introduces, there are gonna be bear traps that we ourselves have to watch out for, but it does seem like they are gonna be something that we ourselves will be able to place. Now, why the heck would we want to do that? Because think about it, a landmine's good because it freaking explodes. What's the point of a bear trap? A bear trap doesn't have that splash effect, doesn't have explosive damage. It's not gonna be able to blow up a ton of people at once. So think about it. Why would we want to be able to craft a bear trap? And that is where I think whatever enemy gets caught in a bear trap, there's gonna be a status effect, or maybe a couple of status effects that occur. One, it gets entirely stuck in the trap and stunned for a couple of seconds. Two, it's slowed down for like a limited amount of time, or maybe for the, like, I don't know, like for the next 20, 30 seconds, whatever, it's slowed down. Similar to the effect that the pistol has with one of its active skill mods. Or three, the bear trap also causes bleeding on whatever enemy that it catches. Because think about it, if your leg gets caught in this thing, you're gonna bleed. That's just a fact. So, if we take all of that into account, and even if one of those three, or even two of those three, heck, I mean, I would take three of those three things that I just described, slowing down enemies, stunning enemies, and or causing bleeding on enemies, would make this incredibly useful, especially if you are dealing with some sort of a stronger enemy, or even a boss of some sort, and that would make this actually very highly desirable, and personally would make me want to go out of my way, and whatever the May update does contain that allows us to acquire these bear traps actually would definitely make me want to do that, because that seems like it would be so helpful when you are faced with fighting tougher enemies. Now, it's not going to be useful in situations like the police station where landmines excel when you can just blow up tons of zombies, but when you know that you have to fight a single powerful zombie of some sort, if any of those three status conditions occur via the bear trap, that is going to be cash money, my friends. And there you have everything that we know about the May update. I'd love to hear from you all in that comment section down below what y'all think about these breakdowns, maybe even some of your own takes about what you think about the boar, what you think about the bear trap, what it means, and how this all ties in with the fact that May is also the anniversary of Last Day on Earth, and how this is all going to come together in this very large update that they do seem to be teasing. I know that I'm looking forward to it, and I am hopeful there's going to be some permanent aspect to it, given the fact that bear traps and boars are being added, both of which seem like they're going to stick around even after whatever limited time event associated with the May update might drop. So looking forward to it, looking forward to hearing from you all in that comment section down below about this as well. And if you are excited for this May update that is being described, be sure to smash the bejesus out of that like button, and well, make sure to subscribe with that notification bell hit, because we're going to be covering the bejesus out of that absolutely as soon as possible. But don't worry, because even though the update that dropped very recently that we are just jumping into now does not have anything big and flashy, I have something big and flashy for you, ladies and gentlemen. No, it is not a large light bulb. Instead, it is massive upgrades at the settlement that we are going to put together and ultimately build. Finally, I've been able to stockpile the resources for it. The drone upgrade workbench, and upgrade our freaking drone, slap some new things on that, and put it into use. So step one of putting all this together, the wall has to be upgraded to level 4. Ka-chow! It has been upgraded to level 4. The defenses of our settlements are maximized and impenetrable. What does this mean? Well, besides the fact that the perimeter of our base looks pretty, it just lets us kind of upgrade more of our stuff. That's actually all that the wall does. Hopefully it'll have more use in a future update, since again, here's the thing as well about future updates that we do have to keep in mind. Lately, all the permanent, all updates that have had some sort of a permanent aspect to them have been building on or expanding on the settlement. Like for essentially all the major updates we've got in like the past 2 years have been somewhat related to the settlement in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Like even the transportation hub, very settlement centric. Before that, the storylines building on the settlement, all that. So you gotta imagine the settlement storyline continues. Hopefully the walls that we can actually defend our settlement against people, that'd be pretty cool. But anyways, I digress, because what we are now building towards is the fact that we, in order to build this, need to actually produce a couple of things, and that is going to come, well, first off, we want to make our way over here, and we want to connect our hydraulic press to water in order for us to create iron frames, because I need 10 more of these iron frames to finish the construction of the drone upgrade bench. Okie dokie artichoke, how do we put that all together? Well, that means that we actually have to repair our water supply to begin with, and that's exactly what I plan on doing here today as well. Over here, the water supply of our settlement is now going to be filled up, and wait, why can't I finalize it? This looks rather full to me. Excuse me? Why can I not finalize you? Sir? Hold on. I'm very confused. What is going on? Hello? And all right, it turns out it wasn't immediately obvious. You have to go to the power menu over here, and then it tells you that it's lacking power. So I went ahead, I hooked up some freaking power over there, and then I'm gonna go and slap this thing right over. Just kidding, cannot slap it there, cannot slap it there. Where the heck can I slap this thing? Actually, maybe I can slap it where I'm standing. I just have to like actually move out of the way over here. So, okay, let's go over here. Let's go over here, and then let's plop this thing. And no, it is, I mean, I guess I can put it over there. So, all right, I'll go ahead and put it over there. Then we'll go over here back into the power. Let's get some aluminum wiring, and boom. This thing should now be powered, unless I am also missing something very obvious. Do I need, you know what? I might need, looking at the blueprints over here, one more aluminum wire going into this space, so I am just burning through aluminum wire so unnecessarily here. There we go. Now it looks like it's finally powered, and now we can finalize the water pump in all of its glory. And look at this thing pumping some definitely not suspicious looking water. You love to see that. You love to see the fact that I'm very thirsty. Nothing that some carrots can't go ahead and heal, and this is looking pretty a-okay if you ask me. Now it is time for us to enter the water system, and we are going to want to, I mean, okay, here's the thing. Where does the water begin? Does the first pipe have to go there? Okay, so it looks like the first pipe has to go there, and then we are going to want a ton of pipes leading their way ultimately to number one. We definitely want to get this thing over here hooked up, and now we should have, actually, hold on. First things first, I'm pretty sure that I'm actually gonna have to juggle some generators around to make this happen from what I recall. Yeah. I'm at my limit for small generators. Yeah, because in order for us to hit level 4 on this thing, I need to actually make sure that our grindstone and other things are actually powered. I mean, I could also try to put a medium generator together, but I don't have 20 aluminum wire that I want to blow at the moment, so I will not be doing that. Instead, what I'll go ahead and do is temporarily plop this bad boy over. I mean, I'll go ahead and throw him right here for the time being, and that will power up everything that we've got. And now if we look inside of here, boom! Our foundry has achieved level 4, which means we now have the capability to craft iron rods at the Broaching Machine, in addition to copper wire and other stuff like that. So now it's a matter of us going into here and actually creating the Broaching Machine of which I speak, which let's go ahead and plop that thing down in this extremely crowded area that I have created over here. And you know what, why don't we, I'm gonna go and move this thing into this corner. This is a bit of a crowded area, don't get me wrong, and then make our way over here to that machine, and boom, that's looking good. And then we are going to want to get this power a little bit more expanded so that it also includes this machine over here. And now we can make our way into the Broaching Machine, plop in iron billets, and get out of it iron rods, which is going to be very important. Speaking of important, we also now have to build a ginormous pipeline of these things leading to none other than my other machine over here that needs to be powered by some water, so don't diddly mind if I diddly do that. And now this little setup over here should be in a similar situation where if I can just go ahead and pass a little bit of power into it by juggling around, I'm just gonna go ahead and actually juggle around this generator. So realistically speaking, I can only have one of these buildings active at a time, but that's okay. We're just trying to make do. Hold on, is this is that the right spot? No, I actually have to move that over a little bit more over here. And now this machine is powered, we have water, and our assembly has also reached level 4, which now means that we can also create iron frames via the Welding Bench. But first, we need to craft the Welding Bench, and in order to craft the Welding Bench, I need to actually head into the proper area, which is going to be the assembly and the Welding Bench over here. And we actually need a couple of more iron rods to make that happen. But remember what I said, we now have the capability to create iron rods out of thin air. Just kidding, this is an alchemy, but we do have the ability to create iron rods when the right machines are powered. So we go ahead and juggle that machine over there, bring some iron billets over, and we will have more than enough iron rods for what we see. And lovely, after that's finished processing, we should have about 15 iron rods to our name, which should be more than enough to create the other workbench that we needed. But also, here's the thing, in order to actually craft the drone upgrade workbench, we are going to need 8 iron rods. So what I'm also gonna go ahead and do is actually create 3 more of those out of what we have over here. So let me just go and drop a couple of more iron billets, blaze, whatever you want to call them, over into this little, not the rolling machine, but the Broaching Machine. And I'll go ahead and drop some of you into there. And I'll just go ahead and create all of them so we have an even 20 stack. That should be more than enough for our purposes. We also have the capability to, whatchamacall, create some more copper wire, which we actually are going to need because I had enough copper wire to craft the drone upgrade workbench, but we actually had to use some of it to create some of these machines that we're now playing around with. Or actually, wait, no, we might, or we're about to have to. So what we are gonna want to do in the meantime is actually take some of these copper billets over here, and we can go and roll them into copper wire over at this machine now that we have reached level 4. So truly, the world is our oyster with everything that is going on here, and just with all this stuff over here. Like, it's freaking as dope as can be. But anyways, let's go and now plop that thing back over to the spot that it was at, and then let's make our way to the assembly, the welding bench. And why don't we, you know what I might do first is actually move this thing into like the corner so we can go and have the welding bench a little bit closer to everything else, and now we will be able to craft the rest of those iron frames that we require. And that is, or actually we're gonna have to hook this thing up to a little bit of electricity first, but I digress. All that we need is going to be, oh, we're gonna need a lot of iron rods actually, holy guacamole. All right, so we're gonna have to get to processing. We're gonna need 20 iron rods for what we're looking to do here. And all right, now that we have enough iron rods, why don't we go and actually grab this little machine, shuffle it over here, power up all the machines that we need here, and we want to create 10 of the, hold on, I'm missing a very important step, and that is actually powering the gosh darn tootin' machine. Don't diddly mind if I diddly do that via a simple connection right over there. And now when we make our way up there, we just need to drop in, whatchamacall, a lot of these, and a lot of these, and these will be getting produced at a breakneck pace. And after just a little bit more of me being impatient so I can show you all this as soon as possible, we have acquired the rest of the iron frames that we need from our welding bench. And y'all can see in my inventory, between the iron frames, the iron rods, and the copper wire, plus all this freaking iron sheets over here, we should have oh, and the resin over here, we should pretty much have all these settlement related materials that we need to put the drone upgrade workbench together. So now it's time for us to travel back home, where we will have the rest of the resources available just within like our base. And of course, the incredible thing, if you guys do not know, is that when you try to craft something, if you have the stuff inside of your just storage and chests and stuff like that, you're good to go. So we can go ahead and craft the drone upgrade workbench. It has been created, but wait, Billy Mays here. There is more. It is not that simple. We are going to have a little bit of a added complications that we need to make some magic happen, you know. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna move this chest over here temporarily so that we can mess around with this newfound thing inside of our inventory. Let's just go ahead and build that puppy right over here, so it's right next to our other drone related thing. And y'all can see it's still very much so under construction. Luckily, let's fill her up with I forgot the iron parts. I have those. I'll get those. And now with the iron spare parts or whatever that I've acquired that I had at my settlement that I totally forgot about, let's fill up the rest of this, and let's finally finalize the drone upgrade workbench and peek into the beauty that this has to offer, along with the modules that we have acquired thus far, plus some of the parts that we require if we want to actually put these together, including actually the unstable battery over here, which appears to be actually, here's all the ones that we've learned so far, and y'all can see what happens with the damage, critical damage, all that blah 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 blah. But whatchamacall, actually, hold on, I've actually been saving quite a few blueprints for this very occasion right here. Let's learn the Bombardier. What do we have over here? The stabilizer, the Boomstick, and we also have a few additional blueprint modules that we can crack open. Oh, we just got an extremely rare Firefly. What is this all about? Targeting system over here, don't mind if I do. We got a heat sensor, and we have the some sort of protocol over there. So we've just learned quite a few new recipes. Let's look into here and let's see. Oh, the Boomstick does a lot of extra damage, that's for sure. The Bombardier drone drops a grenade onto an indicated spot, which is pretty freaking cool, I must say. But the Boomstick, we would just need some iron parts over here. Weapon of supremely lethal force. Will it be defeat even a massive opponent? That increases the damage by a ton of this thing. Now here's the thing, hold on, for the Boomstick, which category does that fall under? Does that fall under, okay, that just falls under like this area here. So we can actually have both of the Bombardier's skill plus the Boomstick should we choose. Now here's the thing, we could go with either the Bombardier which drops a grenade, or the Firefly, where the drone stuns enemies in an indicated spot and deals damage to mechanical enemies. This one seems a little more expensive. It requires 20 titanium compared to the other one, which does not require titanium. But the other one also does drop a grenade, which is pretty sick. I can really only craft one of these active skills, and I really do want to craft an active skill. But let's look through some of the rest of these and see exactly. Drone in the decoy mode can attack enemies. Choruser reduces the enemy's attack power as well. Targeting system, heat sensor. Here we have the overdrive, which increases some damage. Improved targeting system. Unstable battery, which actually stuns nearby enemies when the drone discharges. The fewer charges you have left, the stronger the effect. This seems like a pretty nifty ability, I'm not gonna lie, and I'm kind of like leaning towards this a little bit because it makes the drone last more. Plus, it has that little like passive ability where it can stun enemies after the drone is done, which is pretty cool. But I really only have enough resources here in terms of like the flight controllers and some of that other stuff to really put together one of these more expensive ones, and I kind of want to go with the active ability. Now, it stuns enemies in an indicated spot, or it drops a grenade onto an indicated spot. Why don't we go with the Firefly, man? Like, the ability to stun an enemy seems interesting. Let's fill her up, let's finalize her. And actually, with that in mind, are there any like smaller ones? I mean, okay, here's the thing, the Boomstick, if I could just bring over some iron parts, we actually could put together as well. And all right, with some of those spare parts now in our possession, we should be able to make our way over here. And where are you, Mr. Boomstick? Let's fill you right up. And I am one rotor short. Hold up. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it appears that I may or may not have played myself to the 500 millionth degree, and we are one rotor short of greatness, and I don't believe I have the resources to put the electronics workbench together to create that over at the settlement, so we might need to settle with what we have got. Because the rest of this stuff, yeah, wow, majorly just played myself. But if I can get some more flight controllers and coils, we could actually do something. Okay, hold up, good news, I actually did have some of that, so at the very least, we can make our way over here and fill up the unstable battery and finalize that at the very least with that very cool effect of stunning nearby enemies when the drone discharges. I'm actually very excited to go ahead and see that in capacity, so that's pretty freaking cool. And out of all the other stuff that we have unlocked, I mean, nothing else is like super crazy. The Bombardier does sound pretty dope. This one sounds pretty cool too. Reduces the enemy's attack power as well. This seems like it's a passive thing. And over here, the counterattack protocol, drone in the decoy mode can attack enemies, but the corrosive reduces the enemy's attack power as well. That sounds pretty good. Hold up, I gotta go and grab my drone over here from the workbench, actually. There you are, bucko. Nice and fully charged for our adventures to come. And yeah, if we go over here to our module installation, we're definitely throwing that thing on with a better skill. Over here, we are throwing on the unstable battery with all of its awesomeness. Over here, I guess, oh, we could have both the sealed motors and the target designation. Reduces the drones. I don't really care. I don't know if I care about the sealed motors that much. It does increase the noise a little bit, but we would lose some skill. So I might just actually stick with this for the time being. And then over here, we have got, I mean, we could have had the Boomstick, what could have been, but unfortunately we are close to greatness. Not quite there, but we're close. But here's the thing, looking through all these other ones, we could also go ahead and we do have enough here to build the overdrive. So actually, dude, YOLO, let's fill that thing up, man. Today's all about trying out everything that we can. Why don't we go and give the overdrive a go, and we will get rid of maybe the target designation in exchange for that. We lose a little bit of skill and a little bit of capacity, but we do gain more damage. Now, what happens if we lose capacity? I mean, it still has 4 uses over here on the right, but we now have a ton of, I mean, a much more interesting mix of things with the Fireflies. So, hey, we finally got the drone upgrade workbench. Why don't we go and actually put this puppy to use? And in the meantime, I will definitely be trying to continuing to get my hands on more modules. Not to mention, as soon as I get one more stupid rotor, the Boomstick will be ours, and we'll be doing a lot more damage with this puppy. So a whole new realm of the drone has been unlocked to our capabilities. And actually, what more fitting than perhaps making our way over to the transport hub and trying out a little something over here, since, I mean, it's only fitting that we use the drone here. Not to mention, I actually will be able to trade in some of our blueprints and potentially get some more ones unlocked. So, dude, that might be a nice little win-win over there. And as we go ahead and make our way over there, make sure y'all go ahead and make your way over to the link at the very top of the description description. Thursday night TV / Starsnipe. We're live every single Friday at 6 p.m. Since I'm playing last night on Earth, having a ball, having a blast, and none other. And then kicking the weekend off right in the most fan-freaking-tastic way possible. We got the face cam on. We got the live chat rolling, and we are playing Last Day on Earth live for y'all to watch, to interact with me, see my faces, all of it is going on, and overall just hang out with the entire community as we kick off the weekend right every single week, same time, same place, Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So looking forward to seeing some boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, over there. Looking forward to deploying our drone. The drone has been deployed. Drone, do your thing. I want to see what you are capable of doing. I'm gonna go and activate your little stun thing, and okay, I completely missed everybody with my stun thing, unfortunately, so I've majorly just played myself. My armor is about to freaking disintegrate because I'm being attacked by 500 enemies, and my drone does not have another active skill mod able to be used, but it does look, oh, I'm almost dead. I mean, it's trying its best here. My armor's definitely about to break, dude. I'm getting attacked by way too many enemies all at once, and I've died. That's what I get for trying to show off the drone and getting swarmed by 500 enemies. All right, we're back this time with a vengeance. Thank you very much. I will take all of this stuff over here that was dropped from my literal dead body. Drone, you are ready and rearing to go yet again, and I've got my medical supplies ready and rearing to go as well. Now this time, I'm going to, let's take out a few enemies so we're not attacking 500 of them all at once. I think that's really where the main issue happened. Also, maybe having some shotgun rain to deal with crowd control would have been useful as well. But all right, let's go and deploy our drone over here to 1v1 this fast rodder. How much damage are you doing? 15 per shot. Let's go and actually deploy your ability, and boom, we can see that it literally stuns enemies for, dude, that was actually a decent amount of time that the enemy was stunned for. Yo, color me intrigued. I think I like what I see. Let's go and take down a few more of y'all annoyingly zombies over here, and then take you down with our drone helping us out. And oh, there's that discharge thing as well. If only there were some zombies left for me to use that on. Why don't we go and do a little bit of a science experiment and do exactly that with a, I'm gonna do it with a more controlled amount. So here we have one fast rodder, which is about, I reckon, pretty reasonable. We actually have a second one running up on us, so perfect. We don't want to engage with them too much at this point. I just want to test out, I mean, why don't I go ahead and do the stun thing over here, boom, and we can check out how long they are stunned for. And I mean, dude, they're stunned for a decent little chunk of time over there. That is no pushover. But now what I want to do is try to like run around a little bit, right? And I just want to get our drone to discharge to see exactly what that does when fighting the zombies, and boom, that also does do a stun, and it looks like it lasts a little bit less than the active skill mod ability of the drone when we are utilizing. So that is good to keep in mind, but that is definitely a cool tool belt to have, or a cool tool to have in our tool belt when we are dealing with zombies. Not to mention if you're dealing with tougher zombies, I mean, I can definitely see those stun abilities coming in handy. Now, of course, what it ultimately comes down to, and what I constantly have been talking about, feel free, let me know what y'all think about this in that comment section down below as well, but I feel like this is definitely gonna be a decently commonly shared opinion, which is that, you know, I feel like the drone having to take up a dedicated slot in one of your pockets is just such a major L. Like, if the drone could instead have a dedicated button that you could use to deploy when you actually want to, like, deploy the drone, I think that would just make significantly more sense and actually make the drone just a lot more usable in a lot more context. Because the fact that you have to give up essentially like a secondary weapon slot is seriously so tough, because oftentimes you want to have like a backup weapon, and then in your extra pocket you want to have like medical supplies, for example. So having to essentially sacrifice one of those things to make it happen is just not, I don't know, man. I just don't think that it's it. Which is why it's like so tough to bring the drone out to play, especially in the toughest circumstances that do exist, because there absolutely are some tough circumstances where you might be like, I don't know if this is a situation where I want to bring the drone out to play, but it might be, you know, like, I don't know, man. At the end of the day, if you want to utilize the drone, you have to sacrifice one of your 3 slots over here. Well, I guess one of your backup slots. You can't actually put it in your active slot, but you get what I'm saying. That's non-negotiable. You have to do that. Now, all right, here we're gonna have a little bit of an annoying part where I'm not gonna have the drone in our secondary slot. Instead, we are going to bring out some of the heavier hitting weapons, because we are going to have a bunch of these smashers running up on us, and then an acid melter as well, all of which very annoying enemies, because these guys cause excessive bleeding, and the acid melter is going to obliterate my beautiful armor that I really don't want to happen, please and thank you. So let's just go and do a number on you guys, and then we want to definitely sidestep you, and then we just want to continue doing a little bit of loop-de-loops over here and making sure that the acid melter does not get the best of us, because if even one of those spits over there hit, we are in for a world of pain. Now, luckily, the acid melters on this map, dude, the interesting thing as well, acid melters behave differently depending on the map and the location that they're at. Specifically, the ones over here they're just non-stop spitting, dude. That's the only thing that they are interested in doing, which, hey, more power to them. But if you know how to capitalize on it properly, you're gonna be in pretty decent shape. Now, up here, we are going to have a couple of enemies we want to deal with before we can get to the drone blueprint exchange that I was talking about a tad bit earlier. Also, when in Rome, we might go ahead and take out a few more of these toxic darters, and we want to be careful because they can do a lot of damage to us, and we do not want that happening. No, not today. Instead, what we want to do is make our way over into this area. We want to deal with all of the toxic darters that are going to be here and all the damage that they're going to be dishing to us and take them down before they can do too much damage. Now we can make our way over here. Sometimes, dude, I don't know, a blueprint can spawn in this of the drone variety, but I have not seen one. I saw one spawn here, I think, the first time I opened it, and then after that, like, pretty much no luck outside of that. But when we go and open this up, we're going to have an acid melter here. Luckily, if you're in a 1v1 with one of these always spitting acid melters, very manageable, very doable, nothing too much to worry about over there. But for this next area, we are going to want to bring out our armor-piercing weaponry to play due to the nature of the enemies that we have to worry about. We have a couple of explosive zombies here, actually, that we want to get one of them to freaking blow up. There we go. And do a little bit of damage that way, and then, oh no, dude, hold on, I don't want to get, I'm actually gonna get, like, cornered in, like, the worst way possible. Yeet, and there we go. I should not have, like, ran back into the room as enthusiastically as I did, but hey, I did, and now we're here. But it's all right, we made our way out of that thanks to the incredible active skill mod ability of doing a freaking barrel roll. Now, this riot zombies, as long as their shields are down, we can do more than enough damage to them. And we can, okay, the shield has gone up, so we cannot do too much more damage to you. But what we can do, since we have deactivated this, is make our way over here into the blueprint exchange. And this is specifically the blueprint exchange for drones. And now, if you don't mind me, I'm gonna actually kill the rest of this riot zombie before he freaking mugs me while I'm trying to do this blueprint exchange. This works similar to that in the Bunker Alpha lobby. After you clear the second floor for the first time and save the guy who's chilling over there, we can put in some of our blueprints into this, and in exchange, we get our hands on a random blueprint, and this one is one that we already have, so nothing too incredible over there. I should have a few more blueprints in my inbox. Just kidding, I was mistaken. I already grabbed them a little bit earlier, so there y'all have it. We got to open one, and unfortunately, we got a blueprint that we already had unlocked, so we are left with nothing new. Nothing really that new occurring. There y'all have it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, a bit of a taste of something new at the very least, even though the new update that did just drop didn't necessarily add much to the game outside of the freaking fancy new screen for buying stuff. At the very least, we were able to finally, after stockpiling resources and supplies and upgrading our settlement, get the drone upgrade bench put together, and as a result, get a pretty fire drone over here with an active ability and a discharge ability that can literally stun enemies. I continue being upset about the fact that the drone needs a dedicated pocket instead of just being its own button. I think if it was its own button, it would be significantly more useful. Otherwise, I do think its utility is a little bit limited due to the fact that it does take up one of those very valuable slots that you do have over there. But, I mean, unfortunately, that's the reality of the situation. At least we can make the most of it and have some dope things going down with the drone. But with that said, with that done, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that's gonna start bringing it to this episode of Last Day on Earth. Thank you guys a whole ton for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next one. See ya.